We have the opportunity to make a habit of empathy.
In 2005, then Senator Obama explained that 5% of cases, he believes, are determined by, quote, one's deepest values and core concerns and the depth and breadth of one's empathy, close quote. He means a judge's personal core concerns, values, and empathy. Well, according to the President, in 5% of the cases where issues are close, it's acceptable. I think we must draw from his statement that it's acceptable for judges to not set aside their personal beliefs, to not discard their personal biases, to not dispense with their personal experiences as they make rulings, as they decide cases, which is what judges do. According to the President, in 5% of cases, Lady Justice should, we may say, remove her blindfold, take a look at the litigants, reach out and place a thumb on the scales of justice on one side or the other. I think this is a dangerous departure from the most fundamental pillar of our judicial system, judicial impartiality. That's why judges are given lifetime appointments. They're supposed to be unbiased, impartial. Well, whatever this new empathy standard is not law. It is more akin to politics than law. Whenever a judge puts his or her thumb on the scale of justice in favor of one party or another, the judge necessarily disfavors the other party. For every litigant who benefits from this so-called empathy, there will be another litigant who loses not because of the law or the facts, but because the judge did not empathize or identify with them. And anyway, what is empathy? What is empathy? Is this your personal feeling that you had a tough childhood, or something prejudice that you have? You're Protestant or Catholic, your ethnicity, your race, some biases you brought with you to life and to the court? Is that what an empathy is? Well, it has no objective meaning, and that's why it's not a legal standard. The oath of impartiality to equal justice to the rich and the poor alike is violated, I suggest, when such things infect the decision-making process. So with this as his stated standard, the President has nominated Judge Sonia Sotomayor for the Supreme Court of the United States. And thus far, our review of her record suggests that she may well embrace this President's notion of empathy, and I'll share a few thoughts on that. So, Mr. President, I find this to be an extraordinary judicial philosophy, and some may say you're making too much of it, that empathy sounds fine to me. I don't have any problem with that. Empathy is great, perhaps, if you're the beneficiary of it. The judge is empathetic with you, your side of the argument, but it's not good if you're on the wrong side of the argument. If you don't catch a judge's fancy or fail to appeal to a shared personal experience. And this approach to judging, as expressed in her speeches and writings, appeared to have played an important part in the New Haven firefighters case that Senator McConnell mentioned earlier. These were the 17 firefighters who followed all the rules and studied for the tests, and it was publicly set out how the promotions would take place in that department. And a number of people passed, but a number of people didn't, and there was a number of minorities who did not pass. And they wanted to change the test after it had been carried out, to change the rules of the game after it had been carried out, because they didn't like the results.